I'm Stuart Childs from the Jam Jar Collective. We've got to Maker Faire today with a couple of things. We've brought our free spray virtual graffiti wall. We also have a ball bearing roller coaster to the right and a homemade laser projector as well that is currently projecting, but we'll be taking it apart a bit later so people can see the inside. I'm looking forward to a really good weekend. Last year was amazing, so I think the signs are that this year's going to be equally good, if not better.
How long have you been here?
About an hour.
And why were you late?
Because our ferry was late. Our ferry from Holland.
And why were you on a ferry from Holland?
Because we walked here from Ipswich via Holland.
Via Holland.
From Ipswich to Harwich, and then from Harwich to the Hook of Holland on the ferry, and then the Hook of Holland we walked all the way up the side of Holland, and then from the to Newcastle on the ferry.
Right.
And that's all because last year we came to the fair, and this year when we were looking for the directions on Google Maps of how to get here, we left it on walk, not drive. And Google Maps said that walking from Ipswich to Harwich, getting on the ferry, walking up Holland, getting on the ferry, walking from Newcastle ferry to here was the quickest way. They said it would only take it 1 day and 15 hours to walk. It's taken us quite a lot longer than that, but yeah, so we thought, well, that looks like a challenge really, and we'll prove Google Maps wrong, or we'll prove them right, or we'll, yeah, so see how much we rely on Google Maps, because you rely on Google for pretty much everything now, so yeah, but they're not always right, we'll say that, Google is not always right.
So as you pedal, the speed there that we've got steadily increases. The buffer fills up, and eventually, there we go, we should have video.
I'm Hadrin Singh, I'm from the University of Leicester, and what we've got is building mathematics. What we want to do is make mathematics more accessible and show people that they use mathematics in everyday life. We have construction sets where people can build shapes and different 3D shapes. We've got triangles which people can put together to try and build more stuff.
Yeah.
We have tiling patterns where people can try and put them together.
I'm John Honeyball. I'm a software engineer, and I've come along to the Maker Faire this year with my CompuKit UK 101. I've got 3 of them here today. They're 8-bit computers. They're 30 years old now. I've also brought a couple of brand new 8-bit computers in the form of the Arduino chips.
Which stand are you?
Well, downstairs, really close to the really loud Tesla coil.
Okay.
But stand number 4.
What are you displaying?
It's called the autonomous sound object, which this one I call the fingerbird. Although it's upside down now, it's got a finger. and it's kind of where it takes a lot of measurements. So it takes measurements from its environment around it and turns it into sound, into vibration, and things that insects and animals and maybe even humans can pick up. But more for, I'm trying to make it so that it can read an environment rather than play a melody or something, because there's a lot of software that's written for microcontrollers to play melodies out of readings in Western 4x4 melodies and song structures. So I'm trying to make something that's a bit more organic and not necessarily that pleasing maybe, but it more gives a representation of what's been happening during the day.
And what are you doing now?
Well, we tried to put some bits of it together this morning, and it didn't work very well. So actually, we had it playing. It was more of a media device during the day, and it was playing out of a wave shield. A lady in a wave shield. It was just playing wave files from different sound artists from Bristol. And at the moment, I'm trying to wire it up so that it too can sense readings and stuff outside, because we had to move everything to a separate circuit in the morning, and people were interacting with that instead, and then just looking at this bird. But yeah, I want them to be able to interact with it too.
I'm Adrian McEwen, and I guess I'm a maker, I suppose. My job is to work on the Internet of Things, so connecting stuff to the internet and the internet to stuff. I have Bublino, who's always a bit of a hit, and he watches Twitter, and when anybody mentions Maker Faire UK on Twitter, then he'll blow bubbles so that we get to see that we're being talked about on the internet. There's a clock that will show where the ferries are in Liverpool. So the famous ferry across the Mersey it has to broadcast its information as all boats above a certain size do. That's being fed into a web service called Map Me Out, and so he's got an actual kind of carriage clock, sort of sits on the mantelpiece, and that finds out, kind of talks to the Map Me Out web service to ask where the ferries are, and then when it finds out where the ferries are, it moves the hands of the clock round to point to wherever the ferries happen to be.
Thank you. Okay, first I will examine the cube to see how well you mixed it for me. You nearly scrambled it up pretty good, but I can still solve it. Nearly there now. I told you I could do it. This time I solved it in 19 moves and it took me just over 21 seconds. I hope you enjoy the rest of your visit to the Maker Faire.